the Torah to us, and for us to say, all that you have said we will do, and then be sprinkled with blood. We don't have to wait once a year. That means that I've transgressed. I recognize that I've transgressed. Say, well, my Elohim, in the name of Yeshua, in the name of your restoration, your redemption, your deliverance, in your name, Yeshua means Yahuwah restores, redeems, delivers. I have transgressed. Forgive me. Name the transgression. I've done such and such and so and so. Give me strength not to do it again. And then I can understand that through the blood from the vehicle of sacrifice, that he restored a covenant and allowed me to make this teshuvah, that my forgiveness is instantaneous. This is why we approach Elohim in the name of Yeshua. That if there's anything there, I can approach him and be clean when I step into his presence. So we have a responsibility in our relationship with Elohim. It's not him carrying the ball. We have a responsibility. It's a marriage responsibility. So in our studies of the flood, we understood that we must stay in the Word to seek our Elohim in prayer in order to know the difference between what Torah is and what Torah is not. It is not the rain that kills us. It is the muddled interpretation of the Word that rises up as a flood that brings death and destruction. And we're going to consider this in verse 21. Talking about the flood, just to catch y'all up just a little bit. We talk about they entered into the Tevat. They entered into the ark. And the Tevat, Rashi says, is something that protects. But it was Rabbi Eliezer that said that it's not just something that protects, but it is a representation of the word itself. So to enter, the idea of entering into the ark, we enter into the word of Elohim. And we said that the ark had 3 levels. It had the lower level, the second level, and the third level. That we enter into the ark, we receive knowledge in the first level. The second level, this knowledge becomes wisdom. In the third level, it becomes understanding, in that we are able to apply this knowledge and wisdom in our lives, but also to reach out to the lives of others. And it's in the notes on Bereshit 10 that goes into this quite a bit, but this is just so that y'all will understand what we're talking about. We talk about the rain that came down. Understand that it's not the rain that killed the people outside of the ark. The rain is pure water. We understand that the pure water of Torah comes down and it saturates us. That doesn't kill us. But our not understanding this rain, it hits the ground. And when it hits the ground, it becomes muddled with dogma and doctrine and halakha and takinot. And this rabbi says this, and this church father said that. And then we have this massive muddled water with all these doctrines that go contrary to the word that eventually come up over our heads. And this is what kills the people that are outside of the ark. Because they worship what they don't understand. Yeshua said, you worship what you don't understand. So this is why it's so important that we come into the Word to understand. So Jeremiah 31 says, set yourself up waymarks, make yourself guideposts, set your heart towards the highway, even the way by which you went. Return, O Virgin of Israel. Return to these your cities. All this setting up wayworks and making yourself guideposts is kind of like wearing me out just thinking about it. It's just a lot of work. The first word in this verse, it's hatzivi, which means set yourself up. This word comes from a root natsab that means to stand, but it also means to stand upright or to take an upright position. This isn't just a physical idea. This is the idea of doing what's right, seeking to do what's right. This word also means to appoint or to be appointed. We said that Yirmeyahu means what? Yahuwah appoints. So something in this verse is going to help us to understand our responsibility within this appointment. Now, the Proto-Hebrew of this word suggests being a firm standing pillar. So if we are upright and we are appointed by our Elohim to do something, then we are going to be a pillar that holds up something. And this is something that we have to always keep in mind. And this is how we're always looking to make sure that we have a truthful understanding of what the Word tells us. Because we can't hold anything up with false takanot, with halakha. We can't hold anything up with dogma that isn't supported by Torah. If it's not supported by Torah, then we can't use it to support anything. The next word is ziunim. It doesn't just mean waymarks. Waymarks, if you can imagine the mile markers on the side of the highway that tell you how many miles until the next mile marker. But it's a word that not only means waymarks, but it also relates to being conspicuous, as being seen by everybody. If we're inconspicuous, that word.
Conspicuous and inconspicuous.
We're trying to hide. We're trying to stay back. But to be conspicuous, is that the word? Conspicuous. We're standing out in the open. Here we are. Look at us. Okay? We're being seen by all. The word ziun also means a signpost, a monument, and a guiding post. It is something that shows the way. So with these two words in mind, we can start to formulate an idea that we are to be upright as we are appointed to serve as a visible monument to show the way. Okay? If we are upright and we are a visible monument that has been appointed to show the way, what does that mean as far as us? Is that people will look to you and come to you for advice. They're not just going to come to you for advice on what does this word mean. They're going to come to you and ask you for advice as to what to do about this problem or what to do about that problem. Or you find yourself standing in line at, I live in Walmart, so, at Walmart, and the person next to you suddenly turns to you and says, what do you think about such and such? Or I was at the bank a few weeks ago, and the teller is just breaks out crying and hold her hand and say, hey, it's going to be okay, everything works out. And we have a word of prayer, but you're a pillar. You never know when that appointment is going to take a hold. You have to be prepared. How do we prepare ourselves? Through our prayer and our study, through our worship. So, we're visible. It's something that shows the way. We are to be upright as we are appointed to serve as a visible monument to show the way. And if we are walking with Elohim and bearing fruit, then we have a responsibility to love our neighbor as ourselves. The next word in this verse is simi, that comes from the root sin, that means not just make, but it also means to set, to direct, and to bring to pass. The word used for guideposts is tameruim. The word in itself also serves to say to be an upright guidepost. Again, the idea of being visible to all who need direction. But the next phrase is set your heart towards the highway. Set your heart towards the highway. And in this phrase, it begins with shiti lebe'echa, means to set your heart. The word shiti means to put, to fixate. In other words, to concentrate on something. It means to regard. And the word levehe, which is the heart, from the root lev, doesn't just mean heart, but when we talk about lev, it means one's mind, will, and emotions. This word also involves our knowledge, wisdom, and our ability to think. It's also the seat of our emotions and the seat of our passions. So in the heart is found our resolve to accomplish things, our determination to see things through, as well as our moral conscience. When we talk about our heart, there's a lot going on in our heart, and this is why it's so important when we say that we love Elohim with all of our heart, because first and foremost we want our heart to be linked to his heart, because that's where we receive the guidance in all of these raw emotions. We remember in the Ark of the Mishkan, the Ark of the Covenant, that it was made from shittim wood, but that shittim wood was covered with gold. We understood that shittim wood, this Ark of the Covenant, represents our heart, and that within the word shittim is a word that means simply raw emotion, and that without that covering of the glory of Elohim, without the gold, without our heart being connected to his heart, then we go on raw emotion. And we can make just as many bad mistakes out of love and compassion as we can out of hatred and anger. So we have to have our heart attached to the heart of Elohim for us to be able to make wise decisions. So this verse is saying to concentrate all of these things towards the highway, to concentrate everything that's within our heart towards the highway, even the way by which you went. So let's break this phrase down into bite-sized pieces, beginning with toward. The word toward doesn't actually occur in the Hebrew of this phrase. It's a single letter that implies that toward is there, but the word toward is not actually in the Hebrew phrase. But in English, we understand that the word toward means in the direction of something. And the direction that all these emotions and everything that the heart has is being sent in the direction of Mesila, which doesn't just mean highway, but specifically it means a course or a path. Its root is salal, that means to lift up or to exalt, as well as to prize or be highly prized. So we can gather from this that our focus, the focus in our essence, in essence the focus of our entire being, if we say everything that's contained in our heart is everything that we are, should be on the prize, the course or path that can lift us up into the presence of our Elohim. What does that mean? That everything we do is directed towards being able to be lifted up into the presence of our Elohim. I mean, we don't physically, fly off and end up in heaven, but what does it mean to be in the presence of our Elohim here on earth? Is that we're connected. That through Yeshua, through the word restoration, redemption, and deliverance, makes us clean, so that through Mashiach, through the anointing of Yahuwah, that dwells within. I say I can do all things through Mashiach who strengthens me. It's Mashiach within that gives me the strength and the authority to do. And it is through Mashiach that my eyes are opened, my ears are opened, my heart is open to receive the Ruach that whispers the direction that I need. Through Yeshua HaMashiach, I come into the presence of Elohim. At any time of the day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I'm not ever alone, is what we talked about last week, that we're not alone. We don't have to go through life alone. So, the second part of this phrase is even the way by which you went, and it kind of gives us more insight. The phrase is composed of two key words. The first is derech, meaning way, but quite literally it means one's course or path in life. And the second word is halakti, meaning you went, but it means the manner in which one lives. So in this phrase, we can construct an idea that states that our focus, the focus in essence, being our entire being, should be on the prize, the course or the path that can lift us up in both one's course or path in life, as well as in the manner in which one lives. Everybody catch that? That when our essence is connected, that our course is directed in the way we go, in our journey through life, but it also dictates to us the way that we should live, so that we don't stray from the path, and that we understand that we have Torah for a reason. What does Torah tell us? We talked about the 613 mitzvah, and we're not responsible for 613 mitzvah. We don't have a sacrificial system anymore. Yeshua handle that part for us. We don't do a lot of the mitzvahs because they are specific to the land of Israel. We're in the diaspora, basically. We're outside of Israel, so we're basically responsible for keeping 222 commandments.
We don't have the Sanhedrin in the civil law.
Right. And Christians keep 87%.
They don't even know it.
Huh?
They don't even know it.
Well, they don't. 87%. What don't they keep? They don't keep the kosher laws. They don't use the name of Elohim. And some Jews don't use the name of Elohim because it freaks them out, because they have a misunderstanding of that. They don't keep the feasts and festivals. What we talked about.
They keep the opposing.
What we talked about last week. They've added to, they've taken away, and they've interpreted contrary to. And this isn't just Christianity, this is also Judaism. Judaism, as we know it today, is not a Torah observant Judaism. This is based on takanot. When I say takanot, is rabbinical decrees that over a space of 1,000 years, give or take, became the Talmud. And they're more interested in keeping to Shulchan Aruch and the Talmud, to put your right shoe on first, and then put your left shoe on, then tie your right shoe, then tie your left shoe. This isn't Shulchan Aruch. This is rabbinical decrees that are down to this point. So, working our way through the muddled mess to get back to Torah. Christians and Jews don't use the name of Elohim. Okay? People freak out. Oh my gosh, you're using the name of Elohim. He said, Anochi Yehovah Elohecha. He said, I am Yehovah your Elohim. I am the one who brought you out of Egypt. I'm the one who brought you out of bondage. You shall have no other Elohim before me. So, Yehovah Elohecha is your Elohim. He's Elohim, he's our Elohim. He's Elohim, he's my Elohim. But he has a name. The second commandment, don't make anything and put it in my place. But we take his name out, and we put Adonai in, we put the Lord in. What have we just done? We've replaced it. The third commandment, we read as, don't take his name in vain. But in actuality it says, don't bring my name to nothing. Don't get rid of it. Don't eliminate my name. We've forgotten what his name is. So how can we follow the prophet Joel's advice, who says that those who call in the name of Yehovah will receive deliverance? We can't. How can we follow Malachi's suggestions that says those who esteem my name will be my special treasure? We can't. So this is something that we have to understand. There's a whole lot of stuff that's been taken out.